Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Team Fortress TV for ETF2L's Premiership Qualifiers between Goon Squad and Turbo Teammates. My name is Lucky, and tonight I'm joined by caster of the season, Beta, on production, and DuMmTm as my co-cast. How's it going?
Pretty good. Should be a fun one, like you said. It's the qualifier, the final game to decide the last spot in Prem between the Goon Squad and Turbo Teammates, even previously known as Ownage Squad, coming back after a long time of not having played actively. Been like season 20-something when they last played with one. Goon Squad has been around here and there for a couple of seasons and want to make the jump. Let's see if they have what it takes though, and should be an interesting game by all means.
Yeah, I mean, on the polls at the minute, we're sitting at 78% in favour of the Goon Squad. Do you share that view, DuMmTm, at all in this game coming up? I'm just going to run down the Goon Squad roster for you real quick. It's DQZ, Nakari, D-Toad, Jorge, I believe it's called, Quat, and Paul, but in Russian.
Yes, I actually put that through Google Translate myself, but it is indeed Paul.
So I was like, oh, okay. He's just called Paul. And on the other side of Turbo Teammates, we have some up-and-coming names. Potato, HP, Tob, Colling, Jimbo, and Turbo. Some big, like you said, big names in there, to be honest, if you're in and around the competitive community. Which team do you think and favour in this matchup?
I think, personally, Turbo Teammates have a little bit more experience across the board, where most of the high-level experience on Goon Squad lays on D-Toad and DQZ, I believe. Haven't played on Russian Prem teams before, bringing now a new roster of up-and-coming talent basically together here. Whereas Turbo Teammates have been around for a long time. Lots of talented players, HP, Taubes, Potato, Jimbo, all have been in Prem before. Actually Turbo as well, I'm pretty sure. Only Calling hasn't, and he's been around in Div 2 for just as long as everybody else on Goon Squad basically. So they have just this raw experience advantage, but like I also mentioned before, some of them haven't played on top teams in a little while, so let's see if experience is all it takes here. Goon Squad have the teamwork required.
Indeedy, we are actually going live already into map 1, which is Process, followed up by Gullywash and Sunshine. So good luck, have fun to both of these teams in the chat, and they are going towards the mid-fight right now. I'm following Jimbo on this one. He's kind of messed up his rollout. He's pulling a movement rollout right there, but he's slowly making his way into mid. Huge start for D-Toad on the damage there, and DQZ getting off the crates rather early. HP taking that high ground for his team. Nakari moving over to the left side, and DQZ looking like they're going to set up for some kind of bomb as they're moving forward on that pack. Both teams sitting back to do see Colling going for the first bomb. D-Toad getting chucked into the air shot, but it is going to be Colling dying as the first casualty of war. HP taking some fights now, does get taken down by some crispy pipes from D-Toad as Jimbot caught in a corner, and we're just going to see Turbo and Potato getting the hell out of this mid.
It really has a start to the mid-fight, and eventually you can just tell Turbo Teammates wanted to initiate, sent the soldiers forward fairly blindly, so straight into two scouts. Didn't go well for either of them. Soldiers taking down fairly quickly, and off the back of that, just free taking on the mid all the way to second. Lots of map being taken here already for Goon Squad. Good start, if you want to put it that way, but that alone won't be quite enough to just get around here and get a good fresh start to the game, as it is an even uber stalemate. They need a little bit more here, and for that they do put Paul, aka I think Atka was his previous alias on ETF2L, for the people not aware of this current name, onto Sniper to break the stalemate. Yes.
He's been very up and coming this season. He's been all over the place. He's been showing his sheer talent and skill in PokeChamp as well, as we do see him ring out a headshot onto the enemy Sniper Potato, taking him down with a nice crisp headshot, moving over to the right-hand side onto 5. There is the sentry gun from HP up currently, but it does get taken down at range. DQZ does get picked coming into this, but they are making their way deep through 5 as Jorge leading the charge actually on the medic class there, but they do lose Utka right there, but Quad takes this Uber as the Ubers have now been traded out. HP leading this one as well, but nothing really being found with this, but it does look like the blue team are going to be pushing out with this one, with Jimbo on the chase into choke. He does find Jorge with the sticky bombs, and that is going to be huge for the blue team right now.
Yeah, really well executed by Turbo Teammates there. Do not let them take space for free with the sniper. Aggressing into it. Sure, they lost the gun, but they had the soldiers in their face. Got 2 picks, and at that point, the Uber was just much better from soldier hiding in PC. Spotted early. D-Toad still gets the kill on the Calling, and with Spy behind them, they surely are in trouble here. Paul getting the stab and choke, where the flank did have an easy time, and it all just worked perfectly for the bait plate here. So now suddenly it's advantage back to Goon Squad, and Turbo Teammates need to hurry up to find the tops going in.
Jimbot got backstabbed as well by Utka there. Incredible plays from him in taking down the medic and the demo. Going to thwart Swolenuts' push entirely as they're going to be coming into second to retake this one with their 56% Uber advantage. They managed to accumulate off of that one with HP just scouting out for his team now as they take this second. This is going to be a last push coming up in the next couple seconds here, Dom.
Yeah, they just need to build this up a little bit more. Spawner on the way as well. All the last hold has to offer is a gun and a pyro. Could be enough, but it requires some grand execution to make it work on the defense here. So let's see if they can hold on to this gun. Is level 2 currently, so not full 216 HP or either. Just yet as the red team coming into lobby, just spotting out what they want to do, how they want to approach this gun down early always helps quite a lot. Pyro is exactly here for that reason, not wanting to let this gun go down early.
Yeah, not wanting to ult for the Dragon's Fury, which has been unbanned for this season, but the Sentry Gun getting taken down, and Tom getting pressured hugely. Nakari gets taken down as long as Utka goes down as well with him, and it looks like Colling's getting on top of Jorge. Doesn't find the damage to take him down. DQZ charging forwards. So much damage onto Turbo, but he's still alive. Does get taken down eventually by Qua as D-Toad now making his way out of there. Insanely weak, and Jorge also still alive. I don't know where he went. He is just out of there, and that is going to be a failed last attempt from the red side.
The combo was just so slow on goonsquad to actually take space. His flank was already playing the point, and there was just no backup for them. They just got jumped on the point, and no one blocking the point on Turbo teammates took any damage. So really easy block for them, really easy 2k off the back of an Uber disad push, and it just made the rest of the defense so much easier. Unfortunate death onto Turbo does make it still a bit of a Uber disad situation here on second, but it's better to be disad on second than disad on last, I would imagine. So they just need to find an opportunity to slow them down coming into the second point, and if goonsquad aren't fully aware of the advantage position here, they might not get much out of this. They still try to take some space with it though, coming over sewer all the way, the long way around to just play it safe on the advantage they have.
Yeah, surely they've spotted here. They definitely have. They've spotted that they're all the way back. They don't even have to get any pressure here. No one's bombing them. There's no one in behind. They're just getting this totally for free, and it's not getting forced, but they have managed to even up the situation. They might have been able to push in earlier there, because they were so far back that they could have just had that one even before they got the Uber, but the situation is now evened out, and they are deciding to get HP back on his favourite class of the game, apparently, up on the Engineer.
Yeah, gun, same spot again, just setting up the defense, not wanting to have anyone sacking it, have a fun, easy time here, which is the main point for the gun to be up right now. Still trying to put on some pressure, Jimbot forward with some traps, calling in lobby to just have easier time taking space on the potato sniper on the far left side of lobby as well, and just not wanting to settle with a passive stalemate and not wanting to have this timer tick down and not getting out of it, anything out of it. DQZ jumping himself. Well timed as well, the gun was being moved, perfect moment actually to strike there, but not quite fast enough, and HP had his gun out in time as well, so that's something really important as well, to just be ready to for the sack to come in while you're moving your gun, and they played around that quite well here on both sides, both to take the opportunity while that's the case, but also to not be completely surprised while it's happening. So well played by both sides, but in the end nothing comes of it. Sniper still on field, Potato not really hitting some shots yet though.
Yeah, he tried to get on top of that boiler area there, really couldn't find anything, but they have got DQZ, who was waiting by the spawn there to allow Utka to get up on his snipers. Another offensive sniper is coming out, just peeking through the lower area to see if he can find anything. Receiving the beam nicely from his medic up to that 185, so he can't get counter-sniped unless it's a fully charged shot, and it is going to be Colling just finding that. He has now called him out, and the demo man Jimbot is in a precarious position. Still spamming, might get caught out here by the sniper, and does hit him for a body shot for 150, but doesn't manage to take him down. He's not going to be able to clean up on that one. Headshots ringing out from Potato as well from the enemy sniper. It's going to be very difficult here, for him to get in, as he's trying to get in on 5 right now. Not sure what else they can really do.
Yeah, last time heals on the same sniper play for goonsquad, it didn't work too well. They just kind of overcommitted to it and got completely taken by surprise. Jimbot just dancing in sniper side, and he just doesn't care, but Paul missing his shots on top of that. Really unfortunate. Had like 2 opportunities there to pick up the demo man. That's a worthwhile pick for sure. But like you said, yeah, they need to step up the game around the sniper. So far it's just fairly passive, just sitting in lobby, trying to hope for people to walk towards your sideline instead of trying to create any space. Not wanting to risk anything here yet, and sooner or later these risks need to be taken. The more time is being wasted here, the more likely it is for Turbo teammates to just come back to mid for free.
Yeah, it's just going to be a question of which sniper decides that he wants to peek wide first. You know, go for that hero shot, try and make something happen, or maybe even try and get a soldier. And I mean, it's always, you know, a decent situation when you have this level 3 set. Oh god, Potato gets headshot there and does get spammed down by Nakari at the same time, even though he was overhealed there. So Well played from the combination of those players. We might see some actual shift in the sands maybe towards this last point.
Shifting has happening for sure. Lots of movement on goonsquad to just rotate and surprise people. Worked with the sniper, not quite with anything else yet, but lots and lots of spam onto combo is dealing some damage, not finding too much success, and eventually Detoad is actually the one to fall here, going to aggressive 4-sat damage. So demo down right now on red team of all things makes sacking it a lot easier. No sticks to deny anything, a lot more easy time for Turbo teammates to take some space. Potato immediately trying to take these easy aggressive angles, but not letting them.
He's just in! He's in so deep, and he unfortunately whiffs the shot and does take a load of spam as to get out there. Jorge was in a position to get absolutely domed then. That was so close. And yeah, just unfortunate there for Potato that he didn't manage to find the shot.
Yeah, like you said, eventually these teams need to take more risk on the sniper, and so far both teams slowly getting there with aggressive peaks. Not too much playing around it with like too much aggression, so much as they did before, like with players walking in the sniper aggressively or something. Just the sniper itself not wanting to risk more than a single player. Mixed results so far. Got them at least single kills. Ooh. Potato with a second single pick here for his team. TQZ also almost falls to spam here. Would have been incredibly unfortunate timing for goonsquad if that also were to happen, but with 5 still alive, they have a chance to hold on to this.
Yeah, indeed, as DQZ getting low once again, as Potato's in top IT right now trying to find some picks, but he has now been called by the scouts, and he might be finally out of position as Utka does find the headshot eventually, maybe finding his feet in this game. It's crucial to point out as well, both of these snipers opting for the cozy camper rather than the SMG for the finishing because they want to scope in for just that little bit longer.
Yeah, and just that little bit of protection when you just happen to be alone. Lots of damage by Tops walking towards the sniper here. Fall just a bit too long. Nice arrow there as well. Ooh. Onto the soldier. Top staying alive way too long though for the scout's liking. And they get Nakari off of it as well. None of these sack plays working just yet, and eventually the risk is not paying off for goonsquad here anymore. Yeah,
Turbo down to 42 HP off of that sack in from those 3 players that went in there in the end, and it is going to be blue team retaking the second point. No Uber's traded, we are seeing 2 snipers still. HP eventually going to swap off that engineer class to opt for a scout, as they are going to now try and see if they can get anything happening on second. And second and mid, it has to be said, the long sniper range is so useful for breaking these stalemates, but it is still 0-0, so it's still all to play for both teams. So it's going to be interesting to see which team is going to break first, you know. Are they going to try and make something rash happen, maybe take an Uber trade, do something a little bit different, who knows?
Yeah, and that's actually a good point. Patience here is really, really important. It's been a 10-minute game. Not too much movement over the map happened. Like one quick second trade happened, and that's about it, really. So patience will certainly come into play here. On squad, aka Turbo team, and did Strike Miss that kind of team to be favoring these damates as much as they are doing right now, so I'm positively surprised by them here. But they're being just rotated upon through sewer, lots of damage onto Jimbot, but Colling is the one getting the kills of a Detoad all alone there. Scout and Choke not helping them out, and time almost falls to HP as well.
Very interesting there from Nakari. He sort of went in... Okay, DQZ managed to take down Tobbs as well. There's a fight going on Choke. I'll talk about this in a minute. But nice headshot from Utka. Takes down HP there as he's jumping around in Choke. Jorge calling for his team to move forward. He's probably going to be taking Uber trade right now as Quat is in deep. He forces that Uber off. Jorge drops! Oh no, that's so unfortunate. Nakari in the backlines manages to take down Utka Colling. I did not expect Jorge to drop that Uber. Nakari now getting caught out, but does take down Turbo. Nice rocket from him to take him down. It's just going to be Qua versus Potato in a bit of a 1v2 situation, and he does go down. And there's going to be 2 on the red team left alive, Dito and Utka, as we do see Tops yelling in towards mid and does take down Utka, and is now going to try and back up towards Turbo, gets caught out by those stickies, and now they're going to be able to take this mid here, done.
Yeah, but the later from Turbo might actually be a relevant advantage. They're getting just a little bit less than 20% advantage out of it. That's not huge, but you never know with how slow the game has been so far. They might just take any chance given to them in this messy fight here right now. Really unfortunate for Turbo to go down there. Everybody on this team that was still alive went back for the single player behind it, ignored the scout in front of them, left the medic all alone with that. So now with slightly better heals, he straight away 1 player advantage coming into second. They just take the chances and they just run with it.
They managed to take down Jimbot there with that aggression, and it looks like if they know they have this ad, which they should do because Jorge spawned first, they can get in here if they push it on the dot. Hopefully Turbo won't get the super through the rotation. It is a long rotation. Opting not to sit in the panic room, but is down there with the heavy on the floor. His only heal target is the heavy, so he's not getting the super very fast. This is Uber is wrecking them, and they managed to cap out that point. And that's going to be 1-0 to the side of the Russians.
Yeah, all it took was a little bit of momentum here for goonsquad to finally have some good pace going into last. The stalemate didn't favor them much at all. Turbo teammates played that one a lot better, but the moment there was some movement in the game, they just even with the huge mess up of a drop, just needed a little bit of space to create some plays, and suddenly found themselves all the way into last with a nice little bit of slightly bad and a player ad, and that's all it took really.
Looks like D-Toad is now opting to go on the left-hand side. Maybe they're splitting their aggression across the mid. Tob's going in for this nice distraction bomb as Eka Colin goes in, but unfortunately doesn't find anything. Does get taken down. Nakari getting killed as well by Turbo. And Nakari also finding Tobs in that fight, but it looks like the red side are now moving forwards towards second. And it looks like HP is taking a 1v1 with Uka in the IT area. Does get pistol whipped down and does indeed die. And that's going to be a red team mid. And let's see if they can find any more here, Dum, as they are making their way in towards the second point right now. D-Toad firing his stickies hard into the enemy team, dealing loads of damage, stripping these overheals, and they are now just out of second.
Yeah, really unfortunate. There was a short moment where Jorge was stickied out by Jimbot through choke, couldn't get into second, and unfortunately no one took advantage of that to jump the players on Spire. No one wanted to take that risk, so for the moment the marginally weaker mid-fights for Turbo teammates are still a huge hindrance for them, not being able to deal too much damage nor get too much presence on mid space-wise with the soda bombs. Is really holding them back, letting goonsquad have much more of a presence on the mids, and not even needing to aggress too much as much. They just need to get the sodas shut down, and suddenly they have a 2-player ad. So big plus for them on the mid fights here so far, winning both, and yet again taking second with them, even if it was arguably a lot closer this time in the way they want to approach it. So back to last we go, but we also learned in the last few minutes here that goonsquad kind of struggles with the stalemate. They have the sniper, and he has the aim to do it, but they lack a bit on the cohesion to really make the most of it, besides just relying on the sniper to do all the hard work.
Indeed, they have opted now for the potato sniper. He was up on the pyro, so it looks like they're going to be trying to have a little bit of another contestation here. But Toms does get taken down. This is leaving 5 completely open if they want to take it, but that sentry gun up on the point denying that vision. DQZ managing to get the spam through 1 into Turbo, dealing a lot of damage there, but does die for his troubles. The dispenser armor is now down as Uka gets headshot by Potato as well. A few skirmishes going on left, right and centre. Nakari does get low, but Jorge managing to retain that Uber and keep the rest of his team alive, as they are now actually pushing out onto second. Eka Colling leading the way as Tobbs is now poking out as well. Jorge eats a rocket and does manage to stuff away and does in fact pop out that Uber as Turbo pops out his Uber as well. Nakari gets taken down. Tobbs is in deep, distracting for his team, but it looks like the blue team are sort of peeling very nicely here as Eka Colling now getting up on that point. Tobbs jumping around, causing the distractions. Turbo healing up his team with Potato, who manages to get taken down in the backlines, however, by DQZ. This is such a messy fight as D-Toad now going in very deep, lands 1 pill onto Turbo. Turbo goes low, runs out of 1, and it looks like this is all going to settle down now, but so many red players getting taken down in that fight. That was so weird overall.
Yeah, I think the biggest setback is that HP just kept being energy on last, which I guess is arguably a safe thing to do here. It's gonna secure them not being back up, but at the same time, the fight was just about good enough for a single more player on second to be a huge deciding factor. So again, playing it safe for these teams is both saving their lives, but also holding them back in certain situations. It's really coming to show here just now. And that was a really close fight that, at least once it was starting to go bad for Turbo teammates, they abandoned quickly enough to not have it fall apart for them completely. Sniper back on the field, Potato spy checking, if not going for it just yet. I don't see where he is on the map. Oh, he's actually going for it. Okay, he's slowly approaching W, trying to get in the backlines with the spy play and mix up the surprise off-class plays here. Ooh, bumps into people though.
I think he got spotted there. He is indeed going to be found out and is probably just going to feed here. He just wants to die after he gets found out. The surprise factor disappears as soon as you are spotted, and it makes it so hard to get those stabs afterwards. A good play from him to just perish. And Quana moving in on 5 now, realising the aggression he can get, and doesn't manage to pick out Tops there, so well played from him to find that kill. As Uka now moving in through 5, the team's now really ramping up. HP forces the Uber with the frontier justice. HP going huge. And Eka Colling and Turbo, the only 2 on the battlefield right now with the Uber charge. Nakari eating all the damage, gets airshot by Eka Colling with the red team on the point. Managing to cap this one out, and the point at the end of the day is all that matters there, Dom.
Yeah, and forcing out the Uber in a really fancy fashion also doesn't really matter. If you don't have anyone to actually do anything with it, only, like, what was it, 2-3 players alive and waiting forever for the respawns. Exchange hugely in goonsquad's favor there, and they might be struggling with the stalemates, but overall they're still doing a really good job overall and closing it out slowly but surely 2-0 on about halftime.
Indeed, Jimbot beefing another rollout, unfortunately, there, and making his way into mid later than Dito. Dito finding all this early damage. And Colin moving in towards the IT area for his team. Dito now shifting over to the left-hand side just to get away from that soldier, as the soldier now bombs in, does find one pick, as Oka gets taken down, Top's going down in return from the stickies of Dito. As he's moving forward on the team, dealing so much damage, he's in so deep, does get taken down for his troubles, but the damage has already been dealt, as Qua now trying to leave as well, getting 1v1'd by HP and does get taken down. It's going to be the first blue team mid achieved.
Yeah, finally things happened aggressively on Turbo Teammates' mid-fights that managed to let them play aggressively. Things happened like alongside the soldier bombs, and it worked so much better. Not quite getting them like the big destructive mid that they really wanted to with a med kill, but Forfeit didn't hit for a long time. They doesn't quite have Uber yet.
Indeed, as we do see the blue team Uber come in really deep. It looks like Jorge gets double piped down by Jimbot, and Nakari eats that as well. The sentry gun gets taken down as well, and it looks like the rocket's now flying out, but unfortunately Oka is up on that heavy nice and late as the rest of the blue team are now perished. He's just there for the cleanup. The meat is there on the point, the HMS Poot.
Yeah, really aggressive start to this last push, but they just didn't quite get enough. Sure, Jimbot completely deleted everything in front of him, but no one else really had beam off the back of that, so not enough being done there, unfortunately. The heavy surprisingly late in as well. Just too much to handle once they were already weak. So good start, weak finish for Turbo Teammates, bringing them still in a position where they can at least try again. Now the stalemate has moved to the other side of the map with Turbo Teammates in map control, which is interesting because we've seen a stalemate for a long time this map now, but now we'll see it on the other side. We'll see how Turbo Teammates handle it, because they've played like the much more patient reserved role, which makes sense being the ones on last, but now they're the ones actually having to make the moves both map-wise and scoreline-wise. They need to make stuff happen now.
Yeah, I mean, they've been using Potato as their sniper, but they've opted for HP, and I know both of them are incredibly capable snipers. Both of them have the ability to find heads in these games, and HP has already shown us off that he can headshot scouts, so I mean, there's one in the basket already. DQZ is up on the flank for the red side, just spotting out for his team. And it's going to be, like you said, another stalemate. But the sentry gun in the same spot as last time. It seems that they're sort of mirroring each other. Nakari up on the banner as well, if you've noticed that. And that could be a contributing factor as HP gets taken down by DQZ there, peaking on 1 and 2.
Yeah, one thing I have to attribute to goonsquad here is a huge amount of spam goes every single entryway once the sniper's showing his face. They really don't want these snipers to have too much of an impact right now. So they're making a good job shutting them down, and not just the sniper itself, but also everybody surrounding that. So everybody's just taking brilliant damage. Can't really contest these more aggressive spots for the sniper too much. So the moment HP falls here, they realize they need to fall back, go back to the drawing board, see how they get past this, and find a way around it with a banner, like you said, on top of that as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of ways that you can get around this using the banner. I mean, well, as soon as you got that banner built, it sort of opens up the scope. So I think they're just going to wait to get that banner active, and they're just going to keep pumping heals into Nakari until he gets that. Jorge's just crouching. He's never going to get a headshot from where he is, although I've said that before and people have been headshot. So I wonder how they're going to be able to get this, but I think Nakari has now built his. He's been dealing plenty of damage to get that banner up. So, I mean, I think the blue team are expecting the Uber trade. They've moved back, and they're ready to deal with that banner. It must have been cool, because HP is so far back right now. And there's not much either team are going to do right now, but the blue team need to be the one on the foot here. They're 2-0 down, and they've got 8 minutes left. So they need to make something happen.
Yeah, to put things into perspective, they were managing like 10-minute stalemate on last before on the other side of the map, but that was when they could afford to just do nothing. They could afford to just be happy with the fact that the other team isn't able to play the game much. And now they are the ones put in that same position and have only that exact amount of time themselves to actually get more than just a single round, but 2. And the spam is just keeping them in check. So much HP, constantly being weak. Banner eventually popped the conscious, in fact. So they have speed, they have some health regen, but also nothing really in front of them. A bit of a surprise here, nothing really comes of that, and nothing being close just doesn't really allow anything to happen, and eventually it just forces them to approach, which eventually leads to a snipe.
Yeah, he just gets body shot there, and it's just gone. The aggression is just all gone. Oka there, catching a couple, Qua there, manages to find a kill, but Nakari also finding a kill on tops. He still has that battalion's back up in the wings, so I think they're just baiting the fact that they had a conch. And now they're like, oh, they don't have a conch anymore, maybe we can make something happen. But no, they've got battalions in the back line, so it's all good, you know. But they're just still opting for this very slow siege. Qua does get taken down there, but I mean, you can always lose a sniper when you have a level 3 sentry gun, but the Uber has been forced out from the blue side, so they're going to be trying to come in here. Jorge now pops out his Uber. He's got an insanely good Uber, and this is really good for the red side. Dito getting low there, but is running in towards his Ubered medic, so he'll be all fine. Nikari can now pop out that battalions if he wants to, and they can make some kind of repush happen here, Dom.
Yeah, much more efficient Uber here, being able to just not be completely out of position post-Uber makes a huge difference, and something our teammates couldn't quite manage, like you said, push. Inevitable battalions can pop just for safety reasons, seeing as sacks also are inevitable. Is it enough for the moment? It just about is. Roch is weak though. Snipe will still take him out. HP missing the shot on the medic though.
Yeah, he unfortunately missed a couple shots there, but Dito getting taken down first. It's going to be awful for the red side because they're just getting pummeled by Jimbot because there's no space denial on the side of the red side. Nikari is now going in deep onto HP and does find the frag that he needs, and now he's in behind for his team. So, but they've unfortunately lost a bunch of players. They've got a bunch of respawners on the red side. They are just going to opt to start their sentry gun build on the last point, although Jorge has managed to accumulate this Uber advantage that he probably won't know about, unfortunately.
Yeah, that was so weird. They had this battalion's push out and they tanked all the damage, but they didn't really deal anything to the players that didn't have heals around the second point. So they got a single kill, but took a million damage themselves, and suddenly the post-Uber fight for them, or the post-battalion's fight, I guess, was just so daunting that they really couldn't commit to the second point anymore of the damage they had. Suddenly an opportunity to play off here with Uber they didn't know about. Like you said, conscious up makes life hard. Ooh. They just forced that one out effectively, but Jimbot being dropped is a huge detriment.
Oh. Edgar Collins on 2 HP and manages to take down Dito. That could be huge here, as they are trying to get in towards this last point. The blue team could really make something happen here, but they've got 2 players so far back, unfortunately, that they're not going to be in a position to be able to make something happen, as Tobbs and HP are now just getting back with their medic, because they did lose a bunch of players on that push, and Jorge is already out. He's frontlining for his team on medic, and this is kind of insane. He's really leading the way for his team. I know Jorge likes the main call, so maybe that's his own playstyle coming to effect.
Yeah, and the strong main call is, I guess, something really important to mention here, because for these last attempts that Turbo teammates have, it really seemed like they just had a single call, which is, alright, now we have an opportunity, let's push, but not really any, like, how to do these sort of things, so it just feels all really rushed. Just, they get in, and there's no second plan beyond that, and suddenly they just all are dying around the Uber, and in this case, Jimbot being dropped early as well didn't help the situation much, and it really goes to show how much these sort of small differences can make a huge impact here.
Indeed, as blue team are actually opting to try and make a push happen here, because the demo man of Dito is so far back. They're just letting them have this room, opting for a rather loose hold on the second point, but just baiting players forward as HP does get picked there, and Jimbot is in really deep. Jorge is going to be caught here and does drop Uber. Unfortunately, there is the blue team not get Uber, but Jimbot gets dropped from the Uber. The Turbo has now popped. Dito is still in on the point, and he's just dodging around. Edgar Colling hasn't managed to find him, but unfortunately gets taken down by Potato there, as we do have the dual banner coming in from Nikari with the conch, and unfortunately they only find Edgar Colling with that. And Turbo does manage to survive, and it is going to be Tobbs running in towards the last point. He's standing on the point. We do have the heavy respawner, but he's too slow. Getting body blocked on the point, and they do cap that out. That's going to be 2-1. Excellent play there from Tobb.
Yeah, brilliant little bit of teamwork there leading up to that as well. That sketchy fight in second sure was made a lot easier with the drop, but they didn't get too much by the Uber itself, with one being dropped and the Uber by themselves as well. So they still needed to win out like a huge sack wave, and that was purely to attribute to good focus fire there against the double banner on top of that, as well as Tobbs just brilliantly blocking the point there.
Yeah, it was rather really insane there from Tobbs. Definitely doing really well in this game so far. Let's see if we can keep it up there, Dum. As Nikari now moving on to the left-hand side for his team. They're opting to spread these players so far, but Tobbs and Edgar Colling going into spawns. Nikari going in for a bomb as well. Onto Turbo, doesn't find the frag as Uka is moving forwards onto Edgar Colling. Doesn't manage to find that frag, but finds Nikari instead with HP. And Qua now getting scanned away from his team, but it looks like the high ground's being taken from Dito. A demo man on the high ground is not what you want from the blue side, and they are just going to be running out of there now, Dum. They don't want any more of this mid.
Yeah, Tobbs wanted to just get the early demo kill. It didn't really happen though, so they felt entitled to have to play passive there. Couldn't really keep that position well though at all. Took too much damage to really play that sort of like really passive far back position, so they needed to fall back all the way to second. Staying alive with that though makes a big difference compared to being stuck on last now. Being stuck on second is still being stuck on a map somewhere where you don't want to be after all, but it's a lot more generous of a place to be with this little time left. They need to find an answer though to these stalemates right now.
Yeah, I mean, these stalemates have been like 90% of the game. I think I just saw a ball scout as the Uber has popped out from Jimbot onto their team. They're just going to take an Uber trade here, but oh my god, Jimbot gets caught in, and he is now stuck in between so many players, gets air piped by Dito and taken down. Unfortunate there, that's just going to open up the second point for the red side. Now that the demo man isn't there, they can get some real pressure into this choke point, as HP is not letting it go with Potato, as Potato eats some damage there as well. And it's just going to be how they get through this choke point, actually, since they are locking it down rather well without a demo man.
Yeah, they're not letting them do anything about it, but at the same time, goonsquad don't need to be the ones approaching here. They can be content with the situation right now. Sure, winning the third round he would definitely close out any chances, but keeping this intact would help as well. Colin getting behind for free though doesn't help the situation much.
No, not at all, as they do have players going in left, right, and center, and they're just dying one by one, feeding in here. And it looks like Tobbs is now making something happen on the IT area, but can't manage to find anything, as Dito now moving forward for his team. Onto the second point, Nakari just coming up in the back as well. They are going to be able to reclaim the second with Uber advantage, as Turbo was the only one left alive, and they know about this advantage now, Dum. It's just where they want to take it, yeah, because Dito is now moving in through the 4 area and is now going towards the point. Sticky's out early. Loads of damage being dealt by him as well. The Uber is now popped from the red side. As Quire now moving forwards, the bomb in from DQZ, so much damage towards the shutter, and Edgar Collin can't defend against 5 players from the red side.
Yeah, this is definitely gonna be the final nail in the coffin. 1 minute 40 is by far not enough time here, and that goonsquad taking the first map here in a surprising fashion. Struggled at the beginning a bit outside of mid even, sorry, but they learned from the positions they were forced to be playing and were able to deal with them a lot better as time went on, and it really goes to show that adaptability makes a big difference. So goonsquad taking map 1 here, and we just have the final round to just close things up with.
Yeah, a bit of garbage time here as both teams going all out in this mid, just going for complete DM fights all over the place. Edgar Collin moving forward for his team now. They are going to be moving in towards second, and like you said, Dum, like they kind of adjusted very well, the Russians, after that first mid loss that they got. They understood what they needed to do, and that was just to take the high ground a bit more aggressively, I think. And they did a really good job in this game overall, I think. They had a lot of individually very skilled plays, but that's same to be said for the blue side, I think, overall. Any players that you think really stood out to you in these games as we are still moving through the garbage time of 40 seconds left?
I don't know, I mean, it's the known fact that I'm the teamwork kind of guy over here, so I'm looking for what works well together here. And there were certain moments, even for two teammates, where they had like incredibly amounts of focus fire, especially when they were winning their 1 round here. But otherwise, the focus fire for goonsquad was really strong in a lot of these damages, just shutting things down here. So just not letting people approach them on last whatsoever was something that worked really well for them.
Yeah, indeedy, and that is going to be 8 seconds left on the clock, so GG, well played to both teams. But it is going to be the Russians taking this one as AKA goonsquad, isn't it? That's the name of their team. Nailed it! There's going to be 3-1 on the scoreboard for map 1 of Process. Which team picked this map? Because I didn't know which person was which.
Not sure, actually. Apologies there, so we'll see. Next map we'll be looking forward already is a Gully Wash, so another fairly standard map in the map rotation. The cider would be Sunshine, which is a lot more interesting, I suppose, from a map picking perspective. Because if you ask me, if you just like go through a map picking process and the end result is any 2 of Process, Gully, Snake, it hardly ever favors anyone more than the other to a like noticeable extent.
Yeah.
Anything outside of those 3 is like a lot more interesting to think about, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. But we have got some logs up on the stream currently, so we can take a look at what was going on in this game in a little bit more closer fashion. But we are seeing the first thing that jumps out to me is that that there was quite a lot of deaths on Tob. It went for 8 for 17 during that game, but I feel like he did a lot of work during that game. He was making the space for his team, and I was going to give him like essentially my man of the map, I guess. He was doing so much work for the blue side and just really making stuff happen. He was sort of shifting the teams back and forth quite a lot just by using his fake bombs and the way that he played. So I think his experience coming in clutch there, despite his really annoying Uwu name.
Fair criticism, I suppose.
Also, we got Detoed up on the damage there. DQZ following up with 7,607 damage during that game on the soldier class as well. So excellent play from both sides, IMO. But we are moving in. It's still all to play for. It's just going to be a little harder here for Turbo teammates to really make something happen. They've still got 2 maps to go, as this is a best of 3. And what better map to do it on than Gully Wash when you have such a confident demo like Jimbot, who was just utterly destroying during some of that as well. So It's going to be excellent to see on this Gully Wash demo-centered map to see what changes between these teams.
Yeah, it should be interesting. And you mentioned Jimbo as well, and how much of a leading role he is for the team. And for as much as it was a more stop than go kind of match, the positions where they were able to just play aggressive on Jimbo teammates, he was a leading figure, especially one of the last pushes, just being the one leading the entire charge, going in deep for the team, dealing all the damage. Kaliwash being resident demo map in most people's opinions, even if it's not bad necessarily for most of the other classes either, it just is fairly favorable for demo more so than some other maps. It should be interesting to see how that stacks up in comparison here with Detort, who by no means isn't a leading figure kind of demo man either, but with how the team plays, they just blob up a lot more, in my opinion, and it makes a big difference. And it shows in damage as well. They dealt so much more damage over the course of the last game.
Yeah.
A decent, noticeable amount, basically, and it really showed in some situations. Whenever there was a messy team fight, whenever there was a stalemate, they just put them under so much more pressure with the damage.
Yeah, indeed, they did, and it's going to be, it's going to be an interesting game either way. But do you have a prediction for this game of a scoreline that you think will come out of this?
Hard to say, really. I would imagine it's just as close of a game, with it being just as much of a familiar map for either side here. I can try to scout out what the map picks and ban process was like, if that's public knowledge, so we have some more insight on that.
Yeah, indeed. I'd like to say that it's going to go to a best of 3 in the end, and it will be going down to the final map, because I think that despite losing that last game, I think that Turbo teammates really have what it takes to defeat this team, and they're going to have a good time, I reckon. I'm going to say it's going to be like a 4-1, maybe. They're going to get a lot of rounds on the board. It's going to be a lot less stalemate, I reckon. Random.
It could be. Arguably, Gullywash has a lot more things you can do in stalemates, even if it's not necessarily easy, because it's a lot of team execution stuff you need to be able to do with your team. It does offer a few more options, I would say, so it could certainly be the case here.
Indeed, and we are, in fact, going live with the next map, and we are making our way to the first mid, so good luck, have fun to both teams in the chat, and DQZ making his way to the lower area. Uka taking out high ground for his team, is opting for a right side mid straight away. The heals are up from Turbo, but everyone's getting caught in elbow, and there's so many frags, and so many red players get taken down. That's a wipe. That was an insanely fast mid.
And it further proves my point that map picks and bans, well, statistically speaking, don't mean so much if it's Process Gully Snake, because the map picks are currently, this is goonsquad mapped, as I just found out, and so the last map was Turbo teammates once, and I am feeling vindicated in my opinion that those 3 maps are just the default maps of TF2, so we'll see how that continues on as we go into Sunshine maybe later, but for now, strong start for Turbo teammates, something they were lacking severely with a lot more trouble on the mids in the last map.
Yeah, they're already making their way in, but the flank isn't in any position to make their way into this fight. And unfortunately, they have not found very much with this Uber charge, as it looks like Jimbo is now getting chased as well by Quad as he gets taken down. Dito going down as well, but the Heavy hasn't taken a single point of damage in this fight. Zeka Colling trying to get on top of the point there, but Potato's now moving in towards the spawn, has been spotted out by Quad as he goes in and gets taken down. So I think overall that was just the flank was not ready to make anything happen there.
Yeah, they were lacking damage, they were lacking the coordination now to deal the damage in the first place, so severe lack of presence at the last point, not able to deal with anything close to it, especially the Heavy. Even if they got the demo nice and early, which is usually a good thing, but it's not enough by itself. Huge ad for Borg and Co. coming through big door, trying to just contest this for free. Hiding players not able to take position early, top sides to abandon as well as everybody else pretty much. HP taking the long way out, but at least they're all getting out. However, all of that off the back of still having severe disset, not able to slow them down into mid. Need to slow them down a lot on second to even have with them into the last.
Yeah, they are now moving in to take the second point as we do see the soldiers come down on top of Jorge, but he's not going to... Okay, he does in fact pop out that Uber. Very well played from him as the rocket flew underneath him. I thought he was going to maybe drop there, but he didn't. Tops gets taken down by that Uber charge as the only casualty from that, but they are going to be making their way to last. As 3 players are indeed down, and they all catch damage there from a nice rocket from Nakari, and they're all going to get blown up here. It's just going in the opposite direction, and that is going to be round 1 for the Russians straight away.
Yeah, and again, nice idea, wrong execution. They wanted to slow them down or best have them forced, but it costed them so many lives too immediately, and Tops getting stuck on the way out as well is just not something that allows you to really hold this last point at all anymore if they just start flooding in. Even in worst case scenario where they were losing out the DM fight at last, at least Turbo was the one to die there if it comes to the worst here, but in the best case scenario, like it is just now, they're just going to walk over them with only 3 players alive.
Yeah, both teams opting for a right side mid as well during this, and Turbo is taking a load of damage coming into this. Nakari with the nice bomb to deal so much there, but DQZ going in as well, doesn't find anything at all and can't follow up on that damage. The Tops goes in nice and deep and allows for the entire team to move forwards. Jorge is now getting out of there. Dito just trapped underneath the point there and is going to jump up, but doesn't find anyone and unfortunately gets taken down really late there with that 18-second respawn timer done.
Really fortunate for the combo on goonsquad to even get out of there alive with that much presence being taken by Turbo teammates that quickly. So yeah, just a matter of the soldiers absolutely being shot down early on for goonsquad not being able to do much to anything at all here, and Turbo teammates just rolling off the momentum there, having this huge damage advantage and space being taken by their soldiers in comparison. Again though, now we have the stalemate into last that we saw them having to deal with on the winning end of their mid-fight on process as well. So the stalemate starts and the sags are coming in early this time.
What a pipe from Jimbot, manages to catch Jorge there as he takes him down with a drop. That's going to be a +2 right there. Nice pipe from, I think that was from Launchpad. Nakari now going in to see if he can make something happen, but doesn't find a single frag. And they are going to be able to push last here, but I think that the blue side are just going to wait for their 2 respawners and then make something happen. Or in fact, they're not. They're just going in because they don't care about that. Now they are destroying the sentry gun rather quickly and there's like quiet up on the pyro, but they haven't got anyone to really deny this one. Potato now up on the point, getting so much cap time for his team, and that is going to be an equalizing round. Well played for Potato there to notice the pyro wasn't doing anything about him and just plays the point.
Yeah, that was a strange position for the Pyro. You either want to deny the actual entry into last, or much more common these days is to just deny damage onto the gun, but neither of that was really the case. Pyro just hiding in the corner, trying to surprise people that were clearly invincible. So just position yourself at the point with not anything at all being there to stop that, and even then he could have just gotten a flash to deal with that. A bit risky to push that with just respawners not quite on the field yet, but it worked out just fine here.
Yeah, they are opting for another right side mid. It seems that they just want to take this every time, but Edgar Colling gets taken down. It looks like they found the answer to these mids, as it's just going to be Turbo left alive trying to run out there, and he does manage to survive, but that means Upka is going to be on the chase. He smells blood in the water as Turbo is now running all the way out to last. Is he going to be able to find this frag? A nice arrow from Turbo as this chase is still happening and Turbo gets out to spawn. So well played from him to notice the situation and just get the hell out of there.
They have, again, the right ideas on Turbo teammates to what they want to accomplish here, but again, they just wanted a bit too badly, it feels, and the soldiers die a bit too early in these mid-fights without dealing enough damage for the rest of the team to really play off. So last push opportunity here off of a small ad off of Turbo being alone, but they want to take their chances.
Yeah, it seems that they have got a really good even shot, but a nice bomb from Tops takes down 2, and that is going to be the entire charge. Totally wasted there as didn't find anything. Nakari's in water, but they know he's there as Potato rounds him down with the help of Tobbs, and that's going to be Tobbs on a 4K off of the back of that last push.
They were so focused on point there, and they just really weren't able to deny spawns at all. So the post-Uber happened, and it was just a random fight where with everybody that went under the point to deal with whatever was there was just missing in the fight, and suddenly it was so much better for Turbo teammates here. Losing a player onto second to the sniper is troublesome, and even more troublesome is the thought of having to push into that just now, but at least they still have this opportunity at their hand with this advantage. Can just about afford to wait for Potato here if they really want to, but looking at that position, they want to play this fast, take space with this Uber, and do what they can with it.
They are going for a drop-down push as DQZ moves in behind and looks like he's going to go drop-down himself to counter this one. As Turbo's just hanging around, he gets in behind, lands 2 nice rockets and forces that Ubercharge straight out as HP takes him down. And this Ubercharge is going to be absolutely useless and they're not going to be able to get anything with this. A nice play from DQZ there, dropping down from the high ground to get that force off for his team, and now the shoe is on the other foot.
Yeah, also, big props to Detail there for, I want to call it the Lucas trap in the ammo pack and choke. Really hard to spot and really easy to forget about, especially if there's another trap and you don't expect a second one in the general area of the choke point. So get a free kill on top of that. That was one less player that was able to actually do anything in this mid approach here. So on top of the force, lacking the ability to really approach them and chase people down. Hurt a lot. goonsquad now in a similar position. However, much less work being done by Turbo teammates to actually stop them, just some spam to slow them down, but they play quick, just leave one for the point, they immediately rotate to Victor.
Yeah, because they didn't find any picks there, so they didn't need to stack that point at all, so they are just going to run forwards. The medic is now out of position, Turbo is going to get caught here, by Nakari. It looks like their entire team is going to get crushed. Tob's in a position to go for a bomb, opts not to go for it, knowing that it's all lost and they will just make their way out of there. Well, he will make his way out of there. It looks like the red team are not going to stop there as they are now charging forwards. Qua finds the pick onto Tobs on this last point. Nakari moving forwards onto Jimbot, finds one nice splash rocket onto him, and he is going to be able to cap out this point, and that's going to be 2-1 to the side of the red side. Very nice second push there from the red side.
Yeah, and if anything, for both maps at this point, we're only 10 minutes in here, but it does look like goonsquad look a lot more menacing when they have momentum going, to able to be capitalizing off it and get as much out of it as possible. But goonsquad don't really have that quite going for them just yet, and it becomes really apparent as time goes on here.
Yeah, it does indeed. Like, their mid-fights seem to be working out really well, though, for the side of DuMmTm. So let's see if they can keep these mid-fights up with the aggression. As DQZ getting low in that lower area, as the first frag is going to be onto Eka Colling. Nakari moving forwards for his team. Get a little bit of a fake round, does land on top of Tops, and he's going to take the 1v1 and dies for it, unfortunately. There's a lot of fights going on underneath the point as DQZ also finds a frag. The 2 players low on the red side means that they're going to have a little bit of trouble finding this aggression, but it is currently a 4v4 fight, as DQZ is just sitting out by Big Door, but they are just going to escape this one. DQZ moving on the flank, Tops with a nice bomb to find him. DQZ on top of Turbo, and manages to find a bunch of rockets, but a nice dupe from Turbo jumps over the rocket to keep himself alive. The Jimbot getting taken down as well means they are going to have to give up second here, unfortunately. Yeah,
not enough players to really contest this at all, and just being able to cap off this player situation here is huge. However, they do have different ideas actually. Want to just exchange in. Interesting decision, and I'm not sure if it's the best one. Turbo almost gets stuck in the shutter door to begin with and won't find his way out into last. Eva detours with the chase, slightly better Uber, and getting punished for debatable positioning in the Uber here.
Yeah, and looks like they are not going to stop there. They just want to keep this aggression up as Uka goes in, but opts to run out as soon as he spots that heavy up, as he does receive a bunch of spam with the heals just coming up for the blue side. And we're going to see how they want to take this one, as they do have the Uber advantage to work with. And building really hard towards Big Door. What would you like to see from this team coming into this last push?
I just really want to see a nice stand at last push where they're able to actually shut down the spawns, which they struggled with the last few times. They actually had a good opportunity in the last, and force them back to spawn with the Uber, get anything on defensive resistance that is out of spawn. Flash scout over the point, just play it nice and standard, play it safe, don't do anything you don't need to necessarily do, and just play it as easily as possible, which they're coming in from lower, so let's see how it goes.
This Pyro is not doing a very good job of denying the Super very much, as D-Toad has managed to find his way towards the point. Nakari also finding tons of damage, but HP is still alive as Turbo gets taken down in the shutter door, and this point looks very open for catcher. Edgar Colling up on 1 HP and gets taken out by a scanner gun shot from Qua, and that's going to be 3-1 to the side of the red team, and it's only, it's 19 minutes still left on the clock, so it looks like they might be able to get a 6-1 here done.
If they can keep it pace on it, aka Turbo teammates still very much putting up a fight though, especially in the mids like you mentioned, but their decision making is slipping. They really need to step up the game in that regard and just like weigh out the options better now.
Indeed, making our way towards the next mid-fight, but it looks like blue team are very slow to make something happen here. Top's going in for a high bomb, as we do see Edgar Colin now going in for the bomb, but it looks like Jorge's in a great position to not get caught by any damage there. Nakari getting focused on the left-hand side by both scouts, as we do see DQZ moving forwards onto an isolated Turbo, as he does get taken down. Jorge still alive, as it's D-Toad versus 2, and it looks like Jorge is going to be running out of choke here, but he is probably going to die here. Goes in for a sword, finds the sword frag, and then epic frags from him to take him down, but it's all going to be for nothing with a 13-second respawn, unfortunately, leaving blue team with the chance to get Ubered.
I don't know which one of these two scouts or Turbo teammates this was, but one of them effectively killed Tom's more so than Jorge, stealing the pack that he also went for, and Jorge being a choke, just wanting to sneak away a kill before he most certainly would either at least gets Tops, but that was more so on the scouts and just sneaking away the pack there than anything.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, very interesting from these sides. Looks like the red team are actually going to be able to come out towards second. They know they have a slight Uber disad here. I mean, it's not as big as you'd be worried about for the red side, so they might be able to kite this one out nicely, but they are building really hard on the side of the red team. One fake call might stunt it depending on how these teams decide to play, but the blue side are making their way towards Big Door right now. Jorge's managed to make his way up towards River, so he's in a great position to receive the blue side, as they now have Uber. They have popped out this one, but Jorge is now all the way gone, and they're not going to be able to catch him here. Jimbo now moving in to see if he can make something happen onto Jorge, but he's just hopping and skipping, and he's out of there towards last, but they did lose 2 there. And in fact, they lose 3 there, DuMmTm, coming in towards this last.
yeah, some pressure needs to be happening onto the medic or on the point, or preferably both. The heavy is just so in the way of that. Still gets the false start, not even really by proxy, because they did willingly drop the scout and just popped it on the heavy. So Jorge a bit misplaying the situation there, I would imagine. I think wanted to desperately flash the scout, and even that was arguably not necessary with a heavy still being there. So just slight misplays coming out, and that might have lasting consequences. Not the biggest of advantages here. It did happen fairly quickly to Turbo's respawn, but it is an advantage that you don't ever want to give away to anyone. So we'll see how much Turbo teammates can do with this. They're getting a little bit of a break here, able to capitalize over this mistake. Need to still make it work though, and again, and the Pyro want to make this as hard as possible. We'll see if they got it 90%, so the push imminent.
Yeah, indeed. Echo, like you said as well, it was sort of an unnecessary because Echo Collins' bomb originally did absolutely nothing, jumped towards the heavy as the blue team pop out their Uber with Turbo leading it for his team, along with Potato, as they are getting literally nothing with this Uber, as they just land some damage on the heavy. As they say that, some frags are traded indeed, and they do manage to get this one, but DQZ finding a nice air shot onto Potato, but it means nothing when they're just going to cap the point beneath you.
That was such a close call as well for Turbo teammates there. They had 99% on Jorge's Medigun at the end of their own Uber, but they just about killed everything that was with him. And it was basically kill everything with him or kill him that they needed to do. So killing everything with him was just about good enough to edge this one out and not let him come back to the point to actually get this last percent on his gun. 2-3, remaining close.
Indeed, it's closer than I thought it would be, but DQZ moving in now for a high bomb onto this midpoint, and Tobbs is now playing under the point for his team, but it looks like Echo Collins is going to be caught out low, but does find DQZ with the bomb there, and there's going to be frags traded left, right, and centre, but Dito and Jorge left up on that point there with Potato underneath the point, as all of the players on the blue side have perished. But let's see if Potato wants to take this fight against the red side. It seems like he wants to. He's going in here. He's feisty, as he just gets meat shot by Utka and dies, unfortunately.
Yeah, just not enough damage coming out for Turbo teammates, really not helping them on this aggressive mid approach. The red team was basically unfazed of the aggressive position from them, so huge mid win for them. Definitely will get them second, even if they're slow about it by the lack of players on the field at this current moment. Slowly the spawns are trickling in, so they will take second, slowly but surely. Will waste some time on the Uber advantage here, but they will still have a more than usable one to last.
Indeed they will. I mean, they've got quite a lot to work with. They haven't spotted anything yet. I think DQZ is now peeking in through the river area. Does spot out the sentry gun and the pyro, so it's been cool for their team. They are just going to opt to Uber in through main. No soldier coming in for the backup. They have got the dual spam from river as DQZ moving in towards Nakari, bombing in over the point. Echo calling onto the demo man of Dito, but Dito gets taken down eventually by HP. So it's looking like some form of resemblance for the blue side in their defense here, but unfortunately players going down underneath the point, and that's going to be a wipe for the blue side. That's going to make it 4-2 for the side of the red team, and it's still extremely close in this game, but a lot of rounds have gone.
Yeah, 2-round lead again, much stronger for goonsquad here, and these messy team fights, these TM fights here, working out for them both on mid and on last, even if the last push leaves a little bit to be desired. In terms of actual team execution, at least the M-Boys are able to clutch them out every time.
Yeah, we are seeing another mid-fight happen. Dito is now all alone as they've opted to shift loads of players towards the right side, but the heals are now finding him, so it's going to be very slow for both teams coming up here, as Tobbs has found so much space for his team. We are seeing DQZ going for the bomb onto Turbo. He goes so low, but doesn't get taken down, and that is going to be the red team retreating out of this mid, so well played from the blue side.
Yeah, it's a bit weird to see how aggressive the soldiers are playing when the rest of the team really isn't, so there's not any follow-up for Tobbs and Colin going aggressive, but the rest of the team is just really busy just defending themselves, so they can't really follow up on that. Still good enough in this case to win out on the mid-fight here, but leaves the combo to get away with whatever they want to, and at this point staying alive for last on a 2-round lead. That could be a meaningful bit of time wasted here for goonsquad, even if they were to lose around here, so we'll see how long it takes for Turbo teammates to get into a playable position into last. Last time, it just was one single play. Double sack with demo spam, but how much can you rely on that consistently?
Both players spot the heavy, both players spot the sentry gun, both players still jump. Do you want to riddle me that, please, DuMmTm, about why you would decide to do this?
Well, I mean, it just about happened at a perfect moment about me talking about how much you can consistently rely on just random sacks to do the work here. And just as I said that, they just fly in, and it straight up doesn't work the second time they tried it to map. So basically speaks for itself there, and they need some better plays here. The gun is annoying, the heavy will be annoying, and that is all goonsquad will have to do here until they have an actual a great opportunity to lead last, but I would imagine they wouldn't take like small chances. They're waiting for a big one to not take unnecessary risks here off the 2-round lead.
Yeah, indeed. You've got the sentry gun getting taken down from tops here as well. I was just going to mention spamming that one from River as he could indeed see it because he got moved away from his position with Echo Calling, trying to go for a bomb, beefs the bomb, decides he's going to bomb up and around, lands on top of someone, but HP gets taken down with that as well as he goes in for a sack from Launchpad. DQZ trying to make some space for his team, but gets taken down there on the escape, with DuMmTm taking so much damage as Jorge and Dito are moving forwards here into the lobby area to see if they can get some space to maybe force a push out, but in the end opted to just go back to last.
Yeah, and a bit of lack of patience here yet again. We had a little bit of that process every once in a while. Double sacking out of last when you're 2 rounds up. Definitely a ballsy decision to make here, and DuMmTm just decided to pop in really delayed as well of the decision here. Still get the force out, but what can they really do with this?
That was a very interesting experience there for the blue side. Ubering in a demo man, just letting him die, but the red side are not opting to move on this. They don't want to capitalize on all the space that they're going to get given from this demo man being dead, and they're just going to leave the sentry. Well, they're going to leave the NG with the sentry gun, and they're just going to get Nakari up on a banner, and they're just going to play it safe because they are indeed ahead right now.
Yeah, playing it safe is a bit questionable to say after they just double sacked out of last to initiate this whole chaos here, but yeah, they're not gonna do at least the weirdest of things here. Double sack is probably as much as they're gonna do, so just waiting out to stay immediate again, waiting for the Uber. Nothing really happened of this Uber exchange, because obviously the demo was the most important thing that I did for teammates. Otherwise, they might have been in an opportunity to reapproach from a different position, like rotate back out. Sentry down is obviously the main thing they want here. NG down makes life even easier. That's one pick. No gun, no one that can repair it either, so quick pick on that one. So suddenly they have a pick that is actually meaningful to work with that they didn't have before.
Yeah, I'm surprised that these teams aren't opting for a sniper as well. Tops just gets piped and sticky down as Echo tries to, for the 1,000,000th time, tries to jump into a Tomislav heavy and just gets pinned to a wall as DQZ gets taken down there by Potato as well as he tried to make the counter sack happen. So that's just normal stuff, isn't it? But I mean, not a lot has happened here, but I wonder if they're eventually going to opt to get a sniper. I don't know what the situation is, but Uber's now come out from the blue side. Uber now comes out very late from the red side. This is going to be an excellent trade for the red team, but they're not capitalizing as they are getting loads of points out from HP. Tries to make something happen there, but they're not going to find anything else. But DuMmTm moving in here might get caught by Nakari. DuMmTm just healing up his players. HP getting caught out. The sentry gun does go down, and that's just going to be all that happens there. I don't reckon this is going to amount to much.
Yeah, conceptually they had all the right ideas. They exchanged in, got the exchange out, and got something onto the point. Huge pick onto Turbo as well into lobby. Too late out of that. That will have lasting consequences. They're all feeding off the back of that now, but not quite reaching Jorge. Enough, weak but not down. But like I said on the last push, they had the right ideas. They wanted to exchange, get something onto the point, but they didn't get enough of the safe. The gun was still up, makes the real aggression into last actually really hard to accomplish, and it didn't allow them to capitalize on everybody leaving high ground to block the point there too much. So just not right in the execution for Turbo teammates here, and with the pick onto Turbo himself in lobby on top of that by just not leaving them take lobby for free. It's huge Uber here that will be wasted on Tops, forcing them.
Yeah, Tops dealt too much damage to all those players in lower there. They just all got caught in the choke point and couldn't do anything about it. And it looks like Turbo is going to offer the safest position, but unfortunately, instead of having a scout, they have a sniper, so they haven't got that denying power, stopping power that they needed before. And that's going to allow Nakari to get in on top of them. Maybe the sniper not doing as much as they want there. DQZ is the only one left alive, and he's going to eventually get taken down here, and just for, you know, a bit of salvation. But Jorge did respawn, I think, and Okura is now up alive as well.
Yeah, it will be a big advantage. Also, I love this last little bit of the moment there after the medic got jumped, where only DuMmTm really knew that this soldier was still on the point, and everybody else wanted to move forward, and you can just visibly see when DuMmTm said there's still somebody on the point, and they all turned around to have to deal with that. They did in time, nothing happened with that one anymore after the medic already was unfortunately dead, which leaves us to where we are right now, 40-ish% advantage to Jorge and co. Meaning they are in the better position here, they are in the driving seat, doesn't matter to Turbo teammates, so they just rush the flank and completely walk about Atka.
Yeah, Jorge might actually get caught here. He's just behind the point. And the Uber disad, well, they've got the Uber ad, in fact, for the blue side, sorry, is Uber disad, as they are moving forwards here with the red Uber, but they aren't going to be able to find anything here, and they've got player disad, so they're just going to have to give this one up. So that Uber is just completely wasted, where they were trying to escape the blue side. They didn't, in fact, go into them at all, and they're just losing so much here off the back of this Ekka. The only one going, Ekta calling, the only one dying there in that exchange.
Yeah, it was so close to being a huge collapse into lobby as well, though. At the moment, though, the most important thing is DQZ in the backlines manages to somehow sneak his way behind everybody. So far unnoticed, I would imagine. No one's really taking care of that at all. So they're not aware, but they also have this huge advantage. Comes forward now, has been spotted eventually by Calling, takes a bunch of damage for it. They don't need to take care of that just yet, though, especially with them knowing about it. They can just deal with that later. They still have this advantage plus, leading with the gun.
Yeah, DQZ has gone full potato mode and went really far behind the entire team, and now he's not helping anyone, but the heavy has now come out from the red side. It looks like that will be the salvation for their team, as Uka is just mowing damage into the enemy team, and they are going to be able to hold that last, even though DQZ was so far behind them and not really doing much for the team, and DuMmTm now sticking up these shutters, and they are going to be making their way in towards second, and DuMmTm is just trying his best to get some early damage onto the team, really damaging these people out of the shutters, and does in fact find a frag onto Uka as well, and that could lead to something for the team, as Turbo's only just respawned, only just found a heal target, and is full out to Jorge.
Yeah, let's see what they can do with this advantage here. They're still one down, and granted, they don't need to be doing much here just yet, but it's a huge opportunity wasted if they weren't to capitalize off of it. That gives effectively the midpoint for free to the blue team here if they don't push in. We'll see which risk-reward sort of situation they want to find themselves into. If they want to push, if they want to stay here and deal with an even Uber stalemate. For the moment, not much happening here. They might not be aware of the sniper. If they are, obviously staying safe from it is the main thing you want to be seeing right now for goonsquad, and just dealing with their own one much more so than anything. So I assume the stalemate it will be, and just putting them in a position where even if they manage to break this, it should waste a reasonable amount of time for Turbo teammates to actually get past this.
Yeah, I mean, snipers really do slow down the game, so I don't know if blue team really should be opting for this with so little time left on that clock. They've only got 5 minutes left, and they need 2 rounds. And I don't know if HP's been winning these sniper duels. I think it's relatively even in terms of the kills, but Potato gets taken down by Uka at the choke, and blue team are going to have to start backing off. DQZ now taking up that flank position, and I'm not sure what they can do here, the blue side, to try and make these comeback rounds happen, but it's definitely more than doable for these teams as long as they find the opening.
If they don't want to gamble with sags anymore, if they believe that that is just taking too long to eventually find success, they need to be the ones initiating. They need to find exchanges and ways to make them work for themselves. Sneak people in the backlines, doing them walk over the flank again. That was successful once before. Granted, flank might be more aware of it this time and not too susceptible to it anymore, but these sort of things might be worthwhile options here, and the sniper certainly will just waste time. Taking the option that will waste time getting to the play, but the play itself will be a quick coin flip between working or not for the spy on HP here, so they're putting their faith into that to find a quick result.
Yeah, I mean, they've already started spy checking here. I think he's aware that there's a spy afoot, and he's been shooting around, and they've got Jorge just spinning around, jumping everywhere. He's not in one static position for a long space of time, so it's going to be hard for HP to find this stab as well, considering all of his players are around him right now, bar DQZ, so I think he's going to have to disguise as a soldier if he wants to get the stab. He does uncloak, and he hasn't been spotted yet. Moving in, does get the stab onto Jorge, and that's going to be the Uber drop that they needed, and they need to make something happen fast. 3 minutes 56 on the clock, and they need to try and take it to a golden cap or better and get more rounds here. Nakara getting forced back onto the water riverside area even, and it looks like Quad is just going to escape this as well, and they're all going to leave back to last with DQZ hiding above big door, and does in fact find Tobbs. That's going to be some salvation for the blue side, for the red side even, coming out of that Uber drop.
Yeah, I don't know how he does it, but whenever they're approaching lobby, he's just in the backlines. Again, same idea, trying to jump them and shutter. This time they were fully aware of it though. Don't let them do anything. Again, same situation as before, just popping it early, trying to see what they can do. Gun left, from all right, trying to deny them into spawn, but the players behind are just not allowing them to lock it down and spawn, so heavy on left it is.
Yeah, heavy on left it is indeed, as he is just tanking everything right now. He's so much damage, he's still alive, mowing people down, and this is going to be a bit of a disaster of a maneuver push right here, as once again, the blue side just opt to rush. They don't, like, hang about, make sure everyone's ready and then go. They just sort of, like, go directly in, and the flank was not ready at all to come into that, and they just have, as a result, have no presence on these pushes.
Yeah, the soldiers behind both DQZ all the way in the backline, so Nakari just kind of hanging close to the shutter door. It's just being so much to deal with, it seems. Really no one shutting them down at all, and by the time they do, the spawners, or the people in spawn are just out and with good position to deny people. Still putting up a fight on mid, they don't have much of a choice, trying to approach this aggressively, trading a lot of kills and forcing D.Va as well in this messy fight, but losing just as much themselves.
Indeed, and I mean the red team have now got all of this positioning off the back of it. Turbo only has, oh well, in fact he just dies there to Qua, and Jorge also gets bombed. There's going to be both medics going down. It seems like maybe the blue team have fights still in them, but Qua cleans up Jimbot, and let's see if we can find more into Etka Colling. He goes as he's trying to find these frags, but he gets bombed by Tobbs, and that's going to help him out with the damage to find the frag. But long range rockets from Nakari takes down Etka Colling in the choke. That was a snipe rocket if I've ever seen one. And DQZ hanging around a big door now. Just some messy fights happening around this midpoint, and neither team really has the con at the minute.
Yeah, 2 minutes barely left on the clock. I don't want to throw out hypotheticals about, so I'm not going to say in what realms of possibility we are for the comeback here, but bottom line is they are in the winning position for this round right now, even if they're definitely down on the set count or even match count here, so it's not looking too pretty for Turbo teammates, but they might at least get around on the board for good measure.
Yeah, they need to make something happen here. I mean, they have enough time to get the rounds on the board, but they need to push in the next 20 seconds and get around. Otherwise, it's over for their premiership hopes and dreams as they are making their way in through the river area. They're sending a scout into water, and they've already sent 2 players to deal with that scout, so he's going to get dealt with very fast and just gets immediately annihilated. HP now playing on the point, and they're going to get this one, DuMmTm. Is this maybe comeback 4-4 even?
Alright, what needs to happen here is that they need to play perfect into a team that plays the opposite of perfect for the next 60 seconds straight to have any sort of realistic chance here. I always say like an average fast round is about 1.5 minutes, but a perfect fast round is about 1 minute, so it is within the realms of possibility.
Let's get speedrun.tf into here, you know, like DQZ is now getting on top of that point, and looks like Potato is moving forwards for his team as well. They get the bombs coming in from the soldiers, plenty of damage coming in from the blue side. This is totally doable. They are capping this point so fast. Nakari with the block, and they are trying to get something to happen here from the red side. They know exactly how they want to play, and they're playing to counter as Ilka also finds the frag on the point. They cannot let them cap this one as they have managed to frag them all, and that's going to be the end. GGs are up in the chat from the blue side, and that is going to be a win from the Russian side, taking the series 2-0 in the Premiership qualifiers.
Yeah, close call in the end here, but it kind of the opposite of what I expected to happen here did happen in the end, which is Turbo teammate did have experience going into this. They are experienced players, and it showed in a lot of ways, but it also showed in a lot of other ways that goonsquad just had this bit more of teamwork, especially on all of these last pushes across both maps, where they just looked that much more coordinated, where on Turbo teammates you could see the plan, but you couldn't see it being like executed into the level of perfection required to actually work against a solid last hold. So it was just this alright start that never quite came to fruition at the end.
Yeah, indeed. So GG's to both sides. I mean, the blue team, they put up a hell of a fight. I mean, they have a very, very strong team. I reckon they're going to do very well if they're playing in, Div 1. I think they're going to be playing, and I assume as long as they keep their team together. I know teams depend on, whether they make it or not, and sometimes the teams just die immediately.
I don't think Turbo teammates is going to die. They were like fringe decision in the decision to actually to contest this qualifier after the last team died, which was Chillwagon. They decided, alright, to keep the competition up, we're going to join. If we're going to get it, then whatever, we play Prem. If not, then we're fine with Div 1 either way.
Yeah,
that's
of course.
What the plan was regardless. So them putting up this watch of a close fight against a team that I think self-proclaimed said that they only lost a single map in scrims preseason to a Div 1 team is a good shot at a good season in Div 1 for them, and we'll see how much that matters for goonsquad going into Prem. They're in Premiership now. Now they need to prove how much of Premiership level players they are going forward. That's going to be the hard part now.
Yeah, indeed. Before we talk about that, we have got some logs up on the screen, and I said Jimbot, total powerhouse, 10,000 damage, DuMmTm, 10,000. He went absolutely ham in this game, 28-15 on the scoreline, taking it home for his team. So well played from him. It's going to be a bunch of really good logs from everyone. Echo Colin though coming in with the 10-23 at the bottom of the scoreboard. I like to always point out the person who failed the most. You don't jump into a heavy and a sentry gun and get away with it, my dear child. Unfortunately,
I think the better comparison to make is that this Jim bot dealt as much damage as his flank, which is bizarre to put into this perspective. But sometimes that just happens, and one player having this much of a mechanical performance does make a difference if the rest of the team can't coordinate off as well. You criticize the flank a lot, and stat-wise, you're being confirmed here. I don't want to obviously blame too much on like a single person or two people in this case. And ultimately, it comes down to everybody on the team to make it work. So, that was just that much better by goonsquad here.
Indeedy, and we do in fact have some interviews with our favourite players. We've got Nakari in here, so say hi.
Greetings.
Jorge as well is joining us.
Hello.
And I believe is that Kwa as well?
Yes, it's Carbo, as you wanted. Hello, everyone.
So, Nakari, how's it feel to be Prem? You made it, dude.
Feels good, man.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's exactly short and sweet. So that's what we love. Jorge, how's it feel to win that game? How do you feel like you played during those games?
Well, apart from the drops, which were all tactical, of course.
Yep, of course.
I think they were all pretty good games. And good job to the enemy team as well. They put a good fight.
Very nice, very nice. And Kwa, how do you feel in that game? You were going absolutely ham on them. You went animal mode on Gullywash as well.
Yeah, kinda. I just felt I had kind of more space to work with, and the game wasn't so stalemate as Process was. So I just took more opportunities, and that's it. Yeah, but they were good games. The other team really put up a good fight on both maps. And yeah, GG.
Oh, very nice from you guys, though. How do you feel coming into Prem, though? Do you feel like you're going to face up well against some of the Prem teams you've seen at the minute? Because they've all been confirmed now, so we should have that all up for you guys now. How do you think you're going to do against those teams? Any predictions?
Narkari, you want to start?
No, not really.
Okay, I'll just say it. Maybe get a couple points would be nice. We've faced a couple Prem teams already, and tough games, but I think we'll get used to it, and it's just a learning curve, honestly. I think it's going to be good for all of us.
Indeed. Very good answer.
Yeah, hopefully we're all Prem teams have established Prem players, and I think it's going to be a hard season, especially since we don't have that much experience.
And
but hopefully, but hopefully we can learn from our games and make a even better season next season.
Of course. I mean, eventually you've got to make that jump from Div 1 to Prem at some point, so congratulations on you guys for making that happen. Any questions from you, Dom?
No, you stole my question away, which is the expectations going to Prem, but sounds good. Tame, but still optimistic enough, and that's what you like to hear, so good luck for you guys going into the Premiership season. It won't be easy, but like you said, it's definitely going to be a good learning experience, I would imagine.
Thank you.
Indeed. So we'll roll on to the shoutouts then. We'll start with you, Beta. Any shoutouts? Okay, he just says no, as usual. So there you go. Silent and sweet there. Nakari, any shoutouts from you?
I'd like to rather thank Avrax for marking us like most of our scrims. And thanks to Ace for coaching. And shoutouts to Slowdown.
Awesome. Jorge, any shoutouts from you?
Yeah, I completely agree with Nakari. Shout out to Everx and Ace. And maybe my girlfriend as well for turning internet off in the house because it's so shit.
It's PG-13, by the way.
Crow, any shouts from you?
Yeah, shoutouts to my team for being so good, carrying me to Prem. Shoutouts to the other team for putting us such a good fight. Shoutouts to Early, Fluo, Ace for being our coach. And shoutouts to teamfortress.tv for casting this game. And thank you.
Dom, any shoutouts from you, bud?
Just shoutouts to my boys, Inspire Boys, and shoutouts for everybody for a good game. To you for stepping in when we needed a caster. Not really last minute, I think yesterday, when I realized Whoops Italy is not actually at home. Because I'm smart and I'm not checking Twitter to see that he's watching Dota.
He's at a Dota major, which in fact I'm going to watch after this cast. But shoutouts to Hammy Space Hamsters and shoutouts to Tamir, Crockett, Blue, Jen, and Civic, and all the rest of the bunch. out in the yard. So thanks everyone for tuning in to Team Fortress TV tonight for the Premiership qualifiers, and we'll catch you next time. See ya.